What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, and make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now, for this video, we're going to be jumping into Justice League Last Ride, issue number 3. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead and check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with The Last Ride. Now, this is written by Chip Zdarsky, which I have to say, Chip Zdarsky has really been killing it for DC Comics. He has to be right now one of their saving graces next to Ram V. These two writers together, I can personally say, have been holding up DC Comics over the last couple of months. Now, the pencils are Miguel Mendoza, inks are the same. Now, this line has been relatively interesting because we're seeing a trinity that is broken up. The death of Martian Manhunter has led Batman and Superman to be extremely astray. But when the Green Lantern Corps has come to the Justice League to help them try to keep Lobo imprisoned up until his trial, the United Planets right now having huge fights diplomatically about what to do with him. The Justice League's main focus is keeping Lobo alive until his trial happens. And so they have traveled to the one place they think they can keep him safe until that day, and that place is Apokolips. And with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we diving into this issue, I wanted to ask you guys a question because I haven't been 100% sure on what continuity this is going with. I know this is not Earth Zero, but I don't think they have specified exactly what Earth this is coming out of. But we do know that this is within the Omniverse. So while it's not necessarily Earth Zero canon, it is technically canon. At least that's to my understanding. I could be wrong on this. Let me know down in the comments if I am wrong. And if you know what Earth this is, go ahead and let me know down in the comments. But as we begin to dive into this issue, they're making their approach on Apokolips. And as they land in the Dark Baron, they try to figure out what the best course of action is moving forward, because this is going to be the best location to spot their enemies coming at them. But Batman chose this spot specifically because this is somewhere they can keep Lobo imprisoned, because this place is the summer house, vacation house if you will, of Darkseid. Darkseid being Darkseid's chief torturer. And if anybody is going to have the capability to hold somebody like Lobo, it's going to be Darkseid's little torture chamber. And so as they get Lobo tucked away, they go ahead and have a little campfire. Definitely against Batman's better wishes. Because even though Apokolips is pretty desolate at this point, they're not sure what wildlife may be out here still. And Batman doesn't want his position given away. But at the end of the day, everybody tells him to just lighten up. To lighten up and have a s'more. And while everybody is sitting around the fire, Hal Jordan, he is checking in with the Green Lantern Corps, trying to find out exactly what's going on with the United Planets. And right now at the United Planets, things are starting to get ugly. People, representatives, they want to know where Lobo is, because a lot of people, they want him to answer for his crimes. A lot of people are calling for Lobo's head. And they have some ex-Corps scouts out there looking for anybody that may cause some trouble. But as it stands, it's getting worse and worse. The situation is becoming even more dire there. So much so that some of these representatives, they started putting bounties on Lobo's head. And so right now, it's more the Justice League versus the universe. Because every bounty hunter in the entire universe is going to be coming down on him. Lobo has such a high price on his head, everybody is going to be on their way. And so with big days before them, everyone goes ahead and they go and lay down to get some rest for the days to come. Superman and Wonder Woman both staying awake, both having the ability to stay awake and not needing sleep. Batman tries to flex a little bit, saying that, he can fall asleep in 7 seconds and he only needs to operate on 2 hours of sleep, blah, 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 blah. But he goes to sleep. He goes in, he lays down, and usually he doesn't dream. Usually Batman has complete control over his subconscious. But this night he has a dream. He's a young boy and Martian Manhunter is taking him somewhere. Looking very remnant of his childhood, of the alleyway where his parents were shot, this is where we see Martian Manhunter gunned down, and a young Bruce Wayne at his side, crying, pleading for him to come back, only to look up and the shooter is Batman himself. more or less a metaphor for Batman blaming himself for the death of Martian Manhunter. And Martian Manhunter, with his dying breath, telling Bruce Wayne that this is not his fault, that heroes die, this is the natural order of things, that there is nobody to blame other than Darkseid himself. And he tells him to save his energy, to save his anger, because they are all coming. There is a great evil coming, and it's going to take the entire league to stop it. And that's what will pick us up with the next morning. Hal Jordan in communication with Jessica and Kilowog, being informed that there are bounty hunters on their way. They're coming, and it's just a matter of time before they are there. They've got your location. Somehow this information was leaked, be it X-Corps scouts, whatever the case may be. They let too many people in on the information, and now the entire universe knows exactly where to find them. And with Batman coming out, just having that dream, he knows that this is something more than a dream. It could be someone telepathically messing with him, but he believes that it might actually be Martian Manhunter, though he doesn't tell the rest of the league this. He just says that it's a friend that came to him in a dream and warned him that this was going to happen. So they need to prepare for whatever kind of evil is headed their way. And of course, Batman, he already has a plan ready, locked and loaded. And his plan is to have him and Hal Jordan head over to Darkseid's control center. From there, they may be able to operate the planet's defensive system. And while they're doing that, Diana and Wally, they're gonna go protect Lobo, with Wally West being able to periodically scout the area and make sure that there's nobody close by that's going to try to ambush them. And then he wants John and Clark to head into space. And as he says this, Superman tells him no. We see them butt heads a little bit. Superman still has a very bitter taste in his mouth because of Martian Manhunter dying, and he doesn't believe that he should be away, but Wonder Woman steps in and puts them both in check. Tells them that they need to separate any kind of differences, that Batman needs to check himself, and Superman needs to act like he is the best of them. And so with everybody having their new missions, they all head out in their directions. Superman checking in back home on Earth, checking in with Cyborg and Nightwing, because Batman, being the paranoid individual that he is already concerned that this is all some kind of elaborate trap to lure the Justice League away from home base so they can initiate some kind of global attack. And while that may be a very slim possibility, it's one Batman is not willing to wager. And after he does his little check-in, Hal Jordan, he just asks, making sure everything's all good. But what's really interesting here is Batman telling him that the Justice League, they're not really needed anymore. Back home on Earth, there's enough individuals, there's enough heroes to be able to protect the planet. That the Justice League, more or less, they could die and Earth would be completely fine without them. That the next generation has finally stepped up, and the Justice League of yesterday, they are no longer a necessity to the survival of Earth. But this is where we pick up with Wally West doing his little roundabouts, trying to see if there's anybody coming in close, with Superman protecting Lobo. And Lobo's trying to get inside his head, because as it stands, Lobo knows that Superman is not going to be able to walk away from this with his hands clean. Superman is already thinking that he's going to have to probably get his hands a little bit dirty if they're going to be able to come out on top on this one. And we may see a different side of Superman, especially after losing Martian Manhunter. He may go to the extreme to ensure that he doesn't lose anybody else on the Justice League team. And with everybody getting into position, Batman working to break into Darkseid's control center up in space, John Stewart and Wonder Woman, they are met by what looks to be some kind of giant blockade, more than likely an armada of bounty hunters making their way to collect Lobo. And getting into their final positions, our Justice League is ready for the fight of their lives. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, the reason I originally brought up the idea that this is still within continuity is because at the end of this issue, we have a little transcript from the DEO, from Director Bones, the guy who has been monitoring everything multiversal. And that includes everything going on in Justice League Last Ride. But I did try doing some Google searching. I couldn't find exactly what Earth this one is coming from, or if this is a future event, what it might be. They don't really give you any kind of specifics. And it's made it even more confusing now that pretty much everything that DC has ever created is now inside continuity. Somewhere out there in some multiverse, within the greater Omniverse, this all exists. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm really excited for the next issue. I really want to see Batman turn on Apokolips's planetary defense systems, and I want to see, the Justice League use Apokolips as a freaking weapon. I think it's going to be a phenomenal, awesome battle scene. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.